Hello, Stephen Vocilla here. In this lesson we're going to be going over how to start a drawing. You may have just noticed I wasn't talking. I did that on purpose. It was part of my plan. The reason I did that was, psychologically, you may have noticed things might have become clearer visually. When you look at something and you don't hear speech or noise, it seems that your focus can be more on the shapes and what it looks like. And I've noticed that before with movies. I'll watch a movie, a cartoon, or any kind of movie, and sometimes I'll put it on mute, and I notice these images, they become clearer, like I can see them better than when I hear words coming out or when I hear any kind of music or words. And I think the big reason, which is true, and I think it is the case, because your brain works in two different sides. Your left is responsible for analytically thinking, it's responsible for verbal, while the right side is what we use when it comes to drawing. The right side is able to look at the picture as a whole, it's able to draw, and that is the reason why. And I recommend this. This is an amazing book. Please pick it up if you haven't. It's called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain by Betty Edwards. This book is incredible for any artist, for anyone who wants to draw a period. Please get this book. I'm only halfway through, but it's taught me so much, and I really feel like I've improved drawing. And this book deals with the two sides of the brain. The left, like I just talking about, and the right. And so what I'm going to go, before I actually start doing a drawing, and before I actually start showing you how I started drawing and giving you tips, I want to briefly, for about a good 5 minutes, just very briefly cover what this book deals with and give you advice, because it helps. I promise it's going to help a lot. So please don't turn this video off and be like, where's the drawing? I promise I'll get to the drawing. I promise. Be patient, young warrior, and we shall achieve this goal together. But yeah, so I want to go over some tips, because before you get started with the drawing, it's very important to have these ideas in your mind. They'll help out a lot. So, to get started, the right side, like I just said, deals with drawing. The right side, generally, due to our society, in my opinion, and conditions that we live under, it's used a lot less than the left side. The left side is the dominant side. We talk a lot more, we watch TV with words constantly, we see advertisements, and our left side is really the dominant side in terms of that. The left side is also in control of time. It deals with issues such as, what should we do? So this deals with things such as having a schedule, such as time. It deals with everything, how you plan out first, second, third. Keep that in mind. This idea of anything to do with time. As we enter this, she calls it, Betty Edwards, the author of the book, calls this the R mode and this the L mode. As we enter the R mode, and I observed this before, without even being aware of the book, I've noticed these little things, but the book really sums it up and clarifies it, so it's going to help you draw better. But as we enter the R mode, all of the L mode is silenced. We enter almost a trance state that we lose ourselves in a drawing, and it's very powerful. The more you enter this R mode, the more you enter this trance-like state, the more you're going to be aware of it, and the better you're going to be able to observe and draw, and the better as an artist I think you'll become. And it helps out a lot, because it's called the artist eye. That's the term. The artist eye is the ability to see things without the interference of the L mode. And when you enter this trance state in the R mode, using this right side, the one thing you will notice almost unconsciously, your subconscious will notice, is you never ever think about time. And that's a really big tip, is you never think about time. And that's what's amazing. When I find myself drawing and I get lost in all of these lines, I know I'm in the zone, because it's at that point that all I'm looking at is that focus is on there. So that's something very brief with the two sides of the brain. So just a few more things, and then I'm going to get into starting the drawing. Another thing to mention in the remark to time is that you will notice when you start a drawing, never think of time. Never think of other things you have to do. And in my opinion, when I start a drawing, when I want to get in that drawing state, I take a deep breath and release. I kind of get into this slow, meditative state almost. I try to clear my mind, because you will find if you're drawing under the conditions that you have to do other things, your drawings will not be the same. And it really is incredible, because I've done drawings in the past, and looking back at it, I'll be like, wow, that's a really awesome drawing. And I'll look at another drawing, I'm like, that sucks. Yet it's the same time, the same age, I was maybe 18. And the thing is, though, I remember I was in the mood to do one of the drawings, yet the other drawing I wasn't in the mood. I wasn't in that state of mind. And so that really helps. So before you even put the pencil down, maybe take a deep breath, or maybe do anything that will relax you and get you in that zone. So that's a very important tip. And another thing to remember is the R mode, this right side. When you're going to draw something, if you're looking at it, try not to think in terms of words. This is the best way to achieve the artist's eye. It's the best way to look at anything and observe it. Like, for example, my hand here. If I'm going to draw my hand, I'm going to look at it, and I'm not going to think to myself, I'm not going to say this is a hand. I'm not going to say that's skin. And I'm not going to say those are wrinkles of skin. What I'm going to think is simply, how am I going to draw this? And I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to break it down into shapes and lines. And I'm not going to think of what it is. And that really is a big key to drawing anything, is looking at it as shapes. I have a DVD here. I have to watch this. This looks awesome. But she does this. Upside down drawings. If I'm going to draw this upside down, you can try it. Take any image you want and draw it upside down. Because you'll start to observe, when you draw things upside down, you can enter this mode easier. Because the left side is not saying, well, that's a hand, or that's a face, or that's clothes. What the left side is doing, it can't comprehend what it's seeing when it's upside down. So that leaves your right side the ability to take control and just draw what's being seen. And so that's a very, very important tip, and that will help out a lot when drawing things, is to remember that. To remember to draw what you see and not call it, or not give it any type of verbal association. Oh yeah, and that reminds me. How much time do I have? Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I know I'm taking a lot of time, but this is important. I remember in the early videos I was doing, a lot of times I'd be drawing and I'd be talking. I'd be teaching how do I draw this. And I've noticed my drawings suck. I was getting frustrated. I was like, what the heck? This looks horrible. And what I've discovered is it really has to deal with, once again, the verbal and the visual communication going on here. When I was doing my older videos and I draw a face or a hand, I'd be giving tips how to draw it. And because I was talking, that distracted me from really making the drawings look really good. And that's something she even mentions. Betty Edwards says she cannot talk and draw as good. And this all goes back to this book. So pretty much, I'm done with talking. I'm sorry for if I took too much time. But it's very important that I went over this. Get this book. Please get this book. It'll go extremely in depth. And if you can, please check out my blog. I'll put the link up and you can see the newer drawings I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of drawings of portraits and things. So anyway, now that we understand better, I'm going to get started. I'm going to show you how we started drawing. Yeah, let's do this. Woo!